to French Toast Chopsticks. My name is Brian, and we're going to do something a little different. Trying a new type of video. We're going to call this, I haven't come up with a name for it yet, but we'll call it Volume 1, Continue On, or Volume 1, Yes or No. Basically the premise will be, I read Volume 1 of a manga I'm interested in, or slightly interested, or been recommended, and after that decide whether I want to continue on with it. Factors would include if I like it is the main one, but also how easy is it to get, how long is the run, things like that. And we'll start. I did 3. Well, I've read more than that, but this is just for this video. I did 3. The first one I read was recommended on a couple of YouTube channels, is Zom 100. Very colorful. This is Viz Media. I don't read a lot of Viz Media, so this is interesting. Zom 100 Bucket List of the Dead. So basically it follows a salaryman who is just miserable in his life, beyond belief, is abused at work, but is afraid to quit, and a zombie apocalypse breaks out. And to him, this is the greatest news of all time, because with a zombie apocalypse, he doesn't have to go to work again. So he just starts making a list of things he's always wanted to do, but has been afraid to try because he's afraid to quit his job that he hates so much. It's got a lot of good zombie in it, action, I would suppose. It's pretty brutal, and yet funny. It's more of a comedy. It's a slice of life, sort of, but takes place at the apocalypse, where he's not concerned about the zombie thing, so he's just going to start doing things he's always wanted to do. It's kind of freed him from his obligations, and this was really, really good. I'd actually recommend it to a normie. It's not bizarre and weird or anything like that. You don't have a lot of knowledge of manga to understand what's going on as far as social standings and things like that. But yeah, it turns out the zombie apocalypse is the best thing that can happen to you sometimes. So I will be getting more of this probably this week. I'd like to get it, and all the spines look great. The art on the front looks great. I don't know, it was a nice surprise. I thought I would like it, but I didn't think I would like it this much. It does have some fan service, I guess, in it, but not really. It's very light on that. Some nudity, but nothing crazy. Nothing overly sexual or anything like that in that. Not kid-friendly, because it's pretty gory. But nothing to be embarrassed about either. This does not have to go on your hidden shelf where your naughty stuff goes. So definitely recommend, and I will definitely be reading on with this. I think it's a relatively new series. I don't have a lot of volumes to catch up on. So yes, this is a hit. A+. Next one I read, and to be fair, I actually bought a couple more of these because I just love the art so much. Drifting Dragons, sort of this painterly, which is weird to say about manga art, but it kind of continues, and it's a food manga, sort of, but not. It's not. Food isn't central to it. I'm a fan of the food in manga and some food manga, but this is. It's basically a fantasy version of whaling ships. These are flying like dirigibles, lighter than aircraft, sort of steampunk technology era, where the trade of hunting dragons and basically selling their meat and their organs, and they use their oil, their fat. They render their fat down into oil. It's very much like the whaling ships of the olden days, but in this case dragons. And it's weird because the cover, this looks like a pretty standard dragon, but all the dragons in this are very bizarre and alien looking, like tentacles. Not that kind of tentacle, if you know what I'm saying. There's nothing about that in here, but they're almost alien looking. There are even some that start like cute. Like there's this little baby that you think is cute, that he finds, and he's like, oh, I'm going to capture it, because almost every dragon is just huge, because you need these giant airships to take them down. But they all look different, and they all seem to have different behaviors. Sometimes you even start to take pity on them. But I mean, that cute dragon ends up having a mouth like that. Ugh, nightmare fuel. But the main character, which I guess would be this guy in the front, is probably one of the best, most over OP dragon hunter there is. He'll go leap on the dragon, just spear it through the brain while the entire ship is struggling with it, and he's kind of he just loves dragons. Not that he loves them, he just loves to eat them. I wonder if we're going to get more backstory because his dad was also a dragon hunter just like him. So I wonder if there'll be more backstory in the future versions. It is a little wordy, but it's doing a lot of world building in the first one. Like the people on the surface that they sell their catch to don't like them because they think by having a dragon hunting ship there, it's going to bring dragons to their town. But that's usually not the case because they kill the nearest dragon. There aren't that many. But yeah, and then towards the end, they actually run into other adversaries like sky pirates. And of course, Mr. Badass here just goes storms the sky pirates ship and takes it over single-handed. He's like, I guess he'd be a Mary Sue, sort of. But I think we'll get some backstory about him. I bought 2 more volumes, so I already bought more volumes for it. But I just wanted to say, hey, I'm glad I did because I'm looking forward to reading those 2 volumes. It's not as urgent as Zom 100, or I'm just chomping at the bit to read it, but I liked it. It provides recipes every time they cook something with dragon meat. But the recipe is with the main ingredient being dragon meat, so I believe the joke is sub any sort of protein you want, and it's legit like 2 cups flour, salt, blah blah. Spatchcock your dragon, which is what kind of happened here, and they just cooked it on the grill. Some olive oil, salt to taste. Yeah, it's kind of funny. But I think they're real recipes. It'd be fun to see if not me because that's too much work, but someone else to actually make all these recipes with beef or pork or chicken or something like that. But this is a lot of fun. Yeah, just adventure with fun recipes built in and interesting world building. So steampunk, dragon, airship. It's a blast. Really good. But still, Zom 100 is still my favorite of these. And the final one I read, for this video at least, Silver Spoon. Not about Ricky Schroeder. It is about a directionless kid who, the cover guy here, who goes to agriculture high school in Japan. He was a very diligent studier in junior high and aced all of his entrance exams, I guess, and finished top of his class, but hates his home life. They don't really get into why that much, so he wants to go somewhere as far away as possible, and turns out agriculture high school fits the bill because it has dormitories, so you actually live on campus because the campus is a working farm. And so he goes there with no plan to actually become anything. I mean, it's not just farmers, it's like farm science and veterinary school and animal husbandry and all these other things. And he's a really good student, but he has no practical experience. So he goes to this high school. And he's kind of the odd duck because he's the only one that got in via just grades. Everyone else got in because they're local farmers and sent him there and got him referral letters because they have practical experience where he has none, but he has book smarts. So he takes those book smarts and goes, and he's the only one there who doesn't have a dream. Like, I'm going to take over my dad's milk farm. I'm going to take over the family cheese, whatever. Everyone's got very specific goals, whereas he has none, but he is by far the best academically there. But most of the class is practical, so you're actually, mucking out stables and milking cows and collecting eggs and culling the herd. And it feels, I mean, I wouldn't know. I don't know much about farming, but it feels accurate about what the stuff they're talking about is. And it's kind of brutal and sad when they talk, because if you don't want to see animals die, like cute pigs die, it pulls no punches. It's real farming going on here. So things happen and animals die either because they get sick or because they're food and delicious or because they don't make enough eggs. So we're going to kill this chicken and eat it. Everything's about efficiencies and things. And there's some interesting discussion about farm science, GMO versus, the more organic stuff. And there's some debate in here about that, because they even mention Western and American farms don't like how we do chickens, the factory farm chicken, mechanically separated chickens kept in teeny tiny cages. And they're like, this is all about efficiency, but Americans don't like that. They want to have inefficient farming methods. And also about how do we compete on the world market, the world stage with, there was actually a PPP, I think it was, the Pacific Partnership something, and they were talking about how are they going to compete agriculturally with these other countries if they don't do all of these preferred methods and educate and make sure the next generation knows the importance. So it's slice of life, but it has very specific information. It's very kind of serious but fun. I'm intrigued. I all the characters are likable. There's a little bit of romance, not much. There's like one cute girl and the main guy or whatever, but that takes a back seat. And I don't know, it's like almost an educational manga, but also very kind of adorable in a way. But man, the school doesn't sound fun. Getting up early, doing all the chores, full time. Ugh, no, thank you. But no, I'm really liking this. This is creeping up. Very different from Zom 100, but I will be getting more of these. So Zom 100 is the one where I can't wait to get the next volume. This one, yeah, next, and this is third. So, but all three I'm interested in getting. But yeah, number 1, number 2, number 3. So yeah, I look forward to doing this. I'm new to manga relatively, so I'm very excited to try new things and get recommendations. But there are some volumes that I'd like, some series I'm like, okay, I want to collect this series. I want to read it from start to finish. I'm enjoying it. Or even ones that are new and I'm collecting as it goes. But I like this where I read one volume and go, usually one volume's enough where, I'll be into this, but not always. So, so there's 3 I recommend to anyone, actually. There's nothing that you have to be a super crazy fan to enjoy and eat any of these. So, yeah. Let me know what you think. Like and subscribe. Comment down below what other series you'd like to see me try out. That I haven't heard mentioned before, and I'd definitely pick up a couple volumes and give it a try. Look forward to hearing you then. Bye.